रिजल्ट भी नहीं आया।
Hi friends, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. First of all, Happy New Year to all of you. Best wishes for you and your families. So in this new year, I have decided that I will be making some videos on web development because I have seen a lot of people they are struggling to develop this skill of web development. Although there are a lot of sources available on internet by YouTube's channels, various pages, blogs. But the real essence, that is the guidance, that is missing. So I will be guiding you as a big brother here about web development. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Sanjeev and I have 10 years plus IT experience in IT industry, working across various projects in government as well as private sectors. So if I come on web development, it is very necessary whenever we are starting any to develop any skill. So we have to learn from the basics. What is the basics of web development? If I divide it into two parts, that is front end development and the back end development. Front end development, as the name also suggests, that whatever you see in the front side, in the client side, that is the front end web development. That is made, whatever you see in your browser, that is made using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are the basic technologies which are being used on the front end development. Later on, as we will advance, we will also learn about backend development where various databases, applications, and application logic, other technologies are used on the server side to manage the web pages, web interfaces from the backend. So this is the journey, this is the path that we all have to cover together. So are you ready for it? If you are ready, press the like button, give a thumbs in comment, and see you in the next video. Hi friends, how are you all? I hope you all are fine and ready with full josh to learn web development. In the last few videos, we were discussing about web development, front end development, back end development. We also learned about various technologies. But later on, I realized we are missing the basic fundamental. That is the client server architecture. Being a web developer, we must know what is the basic client server architecture. Client is any machine that is capable of getting information over internet. So if a machine is able to get information or any resource from internet, we call it client. This clients may be your PC, it may be your laptop, it may be your mobile devices. So it can be anything that is capable of getting information over the internet is client. And the other machine is server is basically a machine that is capable of sharing information or sharing resources over internet. So these are high powered computers, these servers, and they are capable of sharing the information or resources. So now the term comes, what is web or what is web? Web is basically World Wide Web. In the short form we call the web. It is World Wide Web. World Wide Web is a system of interconnected resources, that is documents, that files, images, videos or applications, and it is shared, it is interconnected by various means. So this is World Wide Web, and these information can be accessed by means of various browsers, web browsers. There are web browsers, Firefox, Google, Chrome and all. So I will discuss in the next slide about it. What is web service? This server, what we are seeing here, it is actually capable of providing a service to these clients. That may be a laptop, maybe a mobile, or it may be your PCs or any other device that is capable of getting information from server. So it is providing a service, and there are mainly two common type of service, that is SOAP and REST. SOAP is simple object access protocol. Protocol means it is a set of rules. So there are some set of rules which are structured by means of which the data or messages can be shared across various interconnected devices. So the two common types of web services are SOAP or REST. REST is representational state transfer. REST, as you also may be knowing if you have learnt about this, get, post, put and delete. Don't worry, we will learn it about in the JavaScript when we will devise the functions and all. We will learn about it. So there are JSON. JSON is used in the REST for data exchange. So this server is capable of web services. Now if the server is providing the web service, how the clients can access the data over the web service? That can be done by means of web browsers. As we know, there are various web browsers in the market depending on the basic architecture on which they are. Like in Safari, it is the basic browser of Apple. Apple is providing this software, this application to access web service, and it is working on Mac OS and iOS. These are the operating system on which these browsers are working. Likewise, Firefox is by Mozilla company. It is running on almost all the OS like Mac OS, Windows, Linux or Android OS. So likewise there are various browsers, Chrome, Edge, Opera, and there are various other also browsers, new browsers in the market, but these are some popular browsers that I am showing you here. These browsers are used to access the web service from the client side. So if we have this browser installed in our systems, how we can access the information, how we can access our files? So for that we have to open this browser, and after opening this browser, suppose this is a Google Chrome browser, this will be the dashboard, initial dashboard it will open. Then there is the address bar in the top. You will find it is called the address bar. Address bar is thing like you have your house, so you provide some address to your relatives or to your offices where someone can mail you something. So likewise, to get access to the resources or the files or images or videos, anything, any information on the web, we have this address bar where we will be writing the address of that particular server, and from there on we can get the information. So what is this address? It is not like you type anything over here. There is some rules to write over here ki how you have to type this web address. This web address is also known as Uniform Resource Locator, that is URL. It is a location of a specific resource on web, where the web is lying, that resource is lying on web. That address you have to write over there. So you can see it is https://www.google.com/webhp. So whenever you are seeing any page on web browser, you will find this address. Without this address, no resource can be accessed on web browser. So now we will see what are the parts or what are the components of this web address. What is the structure of it? So you can see HTTPS. HTTPS is basically the protocol. HTTP or HTTPS. In HTTP we are using the port number 80, and in HTTPS we are using the port number 443. So these are two kind of protocols. These are some standards that we are using S stand for secure, secure HTTP. The secure version of HTTP is HTTPS. Then we will write the domain name like www.google.com, or here you can see blog.bytego.com. So likewise you have to write your domain name. Domain name comprises of subdomain name, top level domain name and domain name. Thereon it is also sometimes comprising of that geographical domain also, like google.co.in. So in stand for geographical domain. Thereafter we were writing the port. This port is basically the port from which the web server is providing the service, web service. So sometimes the port is also need to be defined for that web server. Then there is the path of that file, where the file is located. Thereafter, this, whenever you see the question mark here, this question mark is the query string with a perimeter. It always have a perimeter. Whenever there will be the query string, there will be some parameters, some information that we are passing to that page on the web server. Like we are asking here for UTM underscore source equal to menu. This parameter is being passed to the web page. And at the end, that is nowhere. It is the specific part of that page. It is, suppose there is a specific part at the bottom or at anywhere, so that would be defined by means of fragments. So parameters and these fragments, these are optional. It is, you will not find like every time these are being used, but that protocol, domain name or the port, if it is there, so that has to be written in the web browser in that address bar to access the web service. So I thought this is very important to build up your fundamentals, to know about it. So that's why I come up with this video, wherein we are understanding this basic client and server architecture, how this web service is working. In the next video, we would be learning about the HTML part. We will be starting with the HTML. Till then, thank you. Bye bye. Take care. अरे भाइयों, हमने पिछले वीडियो में वेब डेवलपमेंट की श्रृंखला में हमने देखा कि वेब डेवलपमेंट होता क्या है, कितने तरीके के वेब डेवलपमेंट होते हैं। मुझे विश्वास है आपको फ्रंट एंड और बैक एंड डेवलपमेंट जानने के बाद ये जिज्ञासा जरूर हुई होगी कि क्या हम बैक एंड डेवलपमेंट स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं बिना फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट सीखे हुए। तो इसका जवाब है हाँ, आप बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं बैक एंड डेवलपमेंट स्टार्ट। पर मेरा सुझाव यही रहेगा कि अगर आप फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट पहले सीख लेते हैं तो आपको वेब डेवलपमेंट की और विस्तृत जानकारी लेने में काफ़ी सहायता मिलेगी। तो आज की वीडियो में हम देखेंगे फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट क्या होता है, उसमें क्या क्या टेक्नोलॉजी होती है और कैसे उसको यूज़ करते हैं। तो बेसिकली फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट वो चीज़ होती है जो एक यूज़र को, जो एक वेब पेज खोल रहा है, एक वेबसाइट खोल रहा है, उस यूज़र को डायरेक्टली जो दिख रहा है, डेट इज़ द फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट। उसके ब्राउज़र में जो भी उसका डिज़ाइन दिख रहा है, लेआउट दिख रहा है, उसमें बटन्स हैं, नेविगेशंस है। आई नो ये और बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स है, ये हम आगे जानेंगे इसके बारे में, तो आपको और ज़्यादा इसके बारे में क्लैरिटी आएगी। तो कौन कौन सी ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी है जिसका प्रयोग करके हम फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट करते हैं। तो बेसिकली हम 3 टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ करते हैं, मिनिमम 3 टेक्नोलॉजी तो इसमें होती ही है। जैसे हाइपर टेक्स्ट मार्कअप लैंग्वेज, दैट इज़ HTML। HTML मतलब उसका बाहर का स्ट्रक्चर, जो भी वेब पेज है उसका स्ट्रक्चर बाहर का कैसा है, उसके अंदर क्या कंटेंट है, कैसी हेडिंग है, पैराग्राफ है, उसमें इमेज लगाना है या कोई दूसरे पेज को लिंक देना है, तो ये सारा काम हम HTML के माध्यम से करते हैं। HTML में टैग्स होते हैं, एक क्लोजिंग टैग होता है, एक ओपनिंग टैग होता है। इसके बारे में हम अगली वीडियो में शुरुआत से अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे। दूसरा होता है कैस्केडिंग स्टाइल शीट। कैस्केडिंग स्टाइल शीट मतलब CSS। इसका मतलब जो भी हमारा दिख रहा है, जो भी उसकी सुंदरता है उस पेज की, जो उसके लेआउट का डिज़ाइन है पेज का, उसका कलर का, उसके फॉन्ट का, उसका स्पेसिंग देना है कि किस जगह पोजीशन करना है पेज में, ये सारा काम हम CSS के माध्यम से बखूबी कर लेते हैं। तो इसके लिए आपको CSS सीखना पड़ेगा। अगली टेक्नोलॉजी जो होती है उसको हम जावा स्क्रिप्ट बोलते हैं, JS भी बोलते हैं, जिसका फाइल एक्सटेंशन .js भी होता है। इससे अपने वेब पेज जो कि एक स्टेटिक है उसको थोड़ा डायनेमिक फीचर मिलते हैं। जैसे हम लोग स्लाइडर होता है या कोई फॉर्म क्लिक करते हैं या कोई एनिमेशन होता है, तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो भी होते हैं, जो भी इसमें लॉजिक अप्लाई करते हैं हम लोग, वो जावा स्क्रिप्ट के माध्यम से बखूबी कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा हमारे पास कई सारे टूल्स और लाइब्रेरीज होती हैं जिसका हम प्रयोग करते हैं, जैसे कि फ्रेमवर्क्स होते हैं जिनमें प्री बिल्ड्स होते हैं और उसमें हम कॉम्प्लेक्स यूज़र इंटरफेस बना सकते हैं, जैसे रिएक्ट हो गया, एंगुलर हो गया, Vue.js हो गया। इनके माध्यम से हम लोग अलग अलग वेब पेज में और ज़्यादा फंक्शनैलिटी ऐड कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे कुछ CSS के प्री प्रोसेसर्स भी होते हैं, उन टेक्नोलॉजी का भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं जिसमें एफिशिएंट स्टाइलिंग होती है। CSS से भी अच्छी और स्टाइलिंग होती है। ये एक तरीके की स्क्रिप्टिंग होती है, जो वेब पेज प्रोसेस हो रहा है उससे पहले की स्क्रिप्ट होकर फिर उसका स्टाइलिंग होता है, जैसे कि SAS या LESS। कई सारे बिल्ड टूल्स भी होते हैं जो फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट के अंतर्गत आते हैं, जैसे वेब पैक हो गया, बैबल हो गया, पार्सल हो गया। ये क्या करते हैं, अपने कोड को ऑप्टिमाइज करते हैं और एफिशिएंट बनाते हैं और कंपाइल करते हैं कोड को। और कई वर्जन कंट्रोलिंग सिस्टम्स भी होते हैं, जैसे गिट। तो ये क्या करता है, जो भी अपने वेब पेज में चेंजेस होते हैं उसको मैनेज करता है और ट्रैक करता है। सो हमारा फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट का मकसद क्या है? अपना फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट का मकसद यही है कि हमें जो यूज़र को हम अपना पेज प्रोजेक्ट करवा रहे हैं ब्राउज़र पे, वो बहुत ही यूज़र फ्रेंडली होना चाहिए। उसको बिल्कुल आसानी होनी चाहिए उसको समझने में, और वो रेस्पॉन्सिव होना चाहिए। रेस्पॉन्सिव मतलब ये होता है कि चाहे आजकल हम लोग वैरायटी ऑफ डिवाइसेस यूज़ करते हैं जिनका डिस्प्ले साइजेस अलग अलग होता है। कोई मोबाइल होता है, कोई टैब होता है थोड़ा बड़ा, थोड़ा लैपटॉप होता है या टीवी होता है। तो ये सब अलग अलग डिस्प्ले साइज़ के लिए हम लोग अलग अलग वेब पेज को डिज़ाइन ना करें, तो इसके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिव डिज़ाइन होता है। तो रिस्पॉन्सिव डिज़ाइन को हमें ध्यान रखते हुए अपने फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट पे फोकस करना है। तो हम देखते हैं कि हमारा इस श्रृंखला में हमारा रोड मैप क्या रहने वाला है फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट में। तो अपना रोड मैप हम लोग स्टार्टिंग जो है अपनी जर्नी करेंगे HTML से, उसके बाद हम CSS की तरफ बढ़ेंगे और फिर आगे JS, और फिर आगे बढ़ते हुए बूटस्ट्रैप या दूसरी टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में सीखेंगे। तो मेरा सबसे आग्रह यही रहेगा कि आप HTML से शुरुआत कीजिए। एक बार आपको HTML की क्लैरिटी आ गई तो आपको आगे फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट सीखने में बहुत ही आसानी होगी। इसका उदाहरण के रूप में हम समझ सकते हैं, जैसे हम कोई घर बनाते हैं तो घर में हम सबसे पहले उसका फाउंडेशन बनाते हैं, उसकी दीवारें बनाते हैं, उसके कॉलम बनाते हैं, तो उसके बाद हम कमरे बनाते हैं, उसमें पार्टीशन करते हैं। सो दिस इज़ नथिंग, ये कुछ नहीं है, ये एक HTML की तरह ही। जैसे कोई पेज बनाते हैं तो उस पेज में हम लेआउट बनाते हैं, उसका स्ट्रक्चर बनाते हैं, कहाँ पे हेडिंग होगी, कहाँ पे पैराग्राफ होगा, कहाँ पे इमेज लगानी है हमें, कहाँ पे अपना वीडियो दिखाना है। सो ये जो बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर बनाएंगे किसी वेब पेज का, वो हम HTML के माध्यम से बनाएंगे। फिर उसके आगे बढ़ते हुए जब हमारा घर का बेसिक ढांचा तैयार हो जाता है, तब हम उसमें रंगाई पोतन करते हैं। उसको और अच्छा बनाने के लिए हम अलग अलग उसमें डेकोरेशन करते हैं, कहीं इमेज की छोटा करते हैं, कहीं बड़ा करते हैं, कहीं पे हम हेडिंग को या वीडियो को कंट्रोल करते हैं। तो वो सारी चीज़ें जो हैं वो हम CSS के माध्यम से करते हैं। जो भी अपीयरेंस या कलर से रिलेटेड चीज़ें हैं वो सारा हम लोग CSS के माध्यम से करते हैं। उसके बाद आता है जावास्क्रिप्ट। जावास्क्रिप्ट जैसे घर का उदाहरण दिया मैंने, कि अगर हम स्विच ऑन करते हैं अपने फ़ैन को या अपने लाइट को, तो कमरे में बल्ब से रोशनी आ जाती है, बंद कर देते हैं रोशनी चली जाती है। तो ये स्विच ऑन ऑफ करने से जो बल्ब जलता है बुझता है, इस तरीके की तकनीक का जो यूज़ करके वेब पेज में हम कोई चेंजेस करते हैं तो उसको हम जावास्क्रिप्ट के माध्यम से करते हैं। अगला आगे चल के बूटस्ट्रैप भी है टेक्नोलॉजी, जो बूटस्ट्रैप हमें सीखना ज़रूरी है क्योंकि उससे रेस्पॉन्सिव डिज़ाइन और प्री बिल्ड लाइब्रेरीज़ हैं जिसमें CSS और प्री बिल्ड और जावास्क्रिप्ट प्री बिल्ड है, उसका प्रयोग करके हम अपने वेब पेज को
और भी ज़्यादा अच्छा और सुंदर बना सकते हैं। उसके आगे रिएक्ट जेएस भी है, सैस है जिसके बारे में मैंने आपको अभी बताया, जो प्री बिल्ट फ्रेमवर्क्स हैं, और एंगुलर जेएस है। सो ये सारे फ्रेमवर्क सीखने के लिए आपको वक्त लगेगा, आपको और मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, बट पहले बेसिक डेवलपमेंट में आपको कम से कम HTML, जावास्क्रिप्ट और CSS इन तीनों पे विशेष रूप से ध्यान देना पड़ेगा। अगले वीडियो में मिलते हैं, हम लोग HTML से शुरुआत करेंगे अपने इस वेब डेवलपमेंट की श्रृंखला में। तब तक के लिए धन्यवाद।
Element, right? I hope you are understanding it. So in the next example, you can see body. Inside the body tag, there is H1 and there is P. So these are HTML elements. The body element describes the document's body. Whatever you see in the browser, I already told you, whatever you are seeing inside the browser, it is written inside the body element. So everything would be inside the body element that your browser is displaying to you. So body have two elements, H and P. I already told you. This is called nested element. So we must always try to never skip the end tag, because writing the end tag is also necessary, but sometimes it may display if you forget. So HTML element may display it correctly. Suppose you forget the ending of this P tag, right? So it's okay, the HTML will display it, but we should always try to do the clean and clear coding, right? We must always remember that once you are starting using the start tag, there has to be the end tag if it is required. Some empty element, HTML element are there, like break tag or line break. So that does not need any closing tag. You simply write the BR tag and it will
work. If you want to break a line in a paragraph, so this is A would be displayed in a one line, and after another line, in the other line, the paragraph with a line break would be shown, right? And HTML codes are not case sensitive, so you can use uppercase or lowercase as you require. You can use it, but that lowercase is preferable in HTML. We are preferably using the HTML in the lowercase. Now we will see the HTML attributes. What is HTML attribute? Attribute means we are providing some additional information inside the HTML element. So when we are using any tag, so if we are trying to provide some other information, some additional information we are giving to that element, that for that we are using the attributes. So there is a tag. For linking we are using the a tag. So in link tag, there additional information, that is the reference to the link is provided with the help of this href. So in the a start tag, we would use this href is equal to https w3school.com. So this is the link that we are using. Likewise, in image always have to be some source so that that image can be displayed. So inside the image start tag, we are using that src. Src stand for source, where that image is. So that path we have to write in the source, then only that image will be displayed, right? So there are two ways to write the path. One is the absolute URL. URL means I already told you in the first lecture itself. URL is uniform resource locator. So where the image is lying, you have to write the path. If you are using the absolute URL, so you will have to use the website address followed by your directory address and then that image path. So in absolute you have to write the full path of that file where that is lying. But in case of relative URL, you need not to write the full website path. You simply need to enter the directory path and the file path where that file is there, right? So home directory followed by the file name, and relative URL is preferable because this domain, it may change, that link may change, so your code will not work, your image will not be displayed once there is a break in the URL. So we prefer to use the relative URL so that the all assets are relatively available there even when the domain is changed. Then the width and height attribute. So suppose we are using an image, so image itself is defined like it has some particular height and width, but how that image is to be displayed in a web page, whether it has to be a size of 500 or 600, width and height 600, or you can reduce that height. So no, it doesn't matter what actual the height of image is, but you can always set the image width and height with the help of width attribute and height attribute in the image tag. So these src, width and height, these all are attributes that we are using so that we are adjusting the size of the image that is being displayed in the browser. Okay, so alt means if suppose for some reasons image is not displayed, it may be the break in URL or the location is not correctly mentioned, so at least the user must know what is there, so that simply text it can display. Alternate text, alt stand for alternate text. So suppose this image is not being displayed due to some error, so this text would be displayed that this image is of girl with a jacket, so the user can have an idea what kind of image is there that may not be displayed for some reason. See what happens if we try to display an image without that does not exist, so this alternate text would be displayed. I hope this is clear to you. Now we will see the style attribute. Style attribute is used to add styles to an element. So whenever you want to add some styling means you want to change the color or some appearance of that paragraph or some HTML body. So inside the tag you will be using the style attribute. Style attribute will change the color, its appearance, position, its thickness. So these, its font weight, font size. So this kind of styling can be done with the style attribute in the starting tag. So I would just suggest that whatever we are studying here, you just practice in your notepad to write these codes, you change this code and try to learn, try to see in browser what kind of changes it is going to do. So unless and until you don't practice this, you will just forget. So there is language attribute lang. So lang will display the language, what language is being used in the website. So here en is the English. So in HTML you can define the language attribute. So language attribute will declare the language of the web page, whether it is English or Russian or some other language or Hindi, any language can be used. So that language of the website will be declared in the HTML tag. So this is also the attribute. Country code can also be there. So we will just write en space US. US means United States. Title attribute. So title attribute, what it is doing, it is adding some extra information about an element. So the value of title attribute will be displayed as a tooltip when you mouse over the element. Suppose you write p title is equal to I am a tooltip. This is a paragraph. So when you hover in this paragraph, it will be showing like this. You can see here. So when you hover over the paragraph, it will show that I am a tooltip. You can see it is showing I am a tooltip. So this title can be added to any paragraph so that whenever a mouse is hovered means whenever you are placing the cursor over anything, so that would be displayed. Like we have written I am a tooltip. So when we are placing the mouse over this paragraph, it will show here that I am a tooltip, right? So like this, we can also add information to any paragraph. So we should always use lowercase for the attributes. But as I already told you, HTML is not case sensitive. So you can also go with the uppercase, but it is a good practice to always use a lower case, right? And always use quotes for the attribute values. Although it may work, HTML standard does not require you to use the quotes around the attribute values, but it is a good practice because most of the coders or developers they are using. So these quotes, if you are providing any value to the attribute, so it must be inside the quotes. That again, it may be single quote or double quote, it doesn't matter, but it is always a good practice to use a double quote for giving some value to this attribute. I hope these things are clear to you. Although it is a very basic thing, when you will practice again and again, you will be having a hand on it. So need not to worry, just have enough practice and it will only come with practice. No lecture can make you adapt in it. You have to practice at your end. There is no alternative to it. I hope you have understood it. So whatever we have studied till now, that all HTML elements can have attributes. Attributes can be of href in case of linking. When we are linking any page or anything, so that you have to do with the a attribute. In the a tag, href attribute can be used. In the image, we always use src for the source to display the path where the image is there. We will write the path in the src tag, src attribute. So this is the attribute and this is tag. Width and height is the attribute, is the additional information that we are providing to image, so that the browser which is displaying the image, it will show the exact width and height of the image, right? So, and ALT, I told you, alternate text. Alternate text means for some reason if image is not getting displayed, so alternate text would be provided to the user so that he can understand कि suppose image is not there, so what kind of image the coder is trying to display it in the website, right? So style, I already told you, for font size and color or appearance you can always use the style tag and it will be inline styling. So in that inline styling these appearance can be changed, and language attribute and the title attribute, these are the basic things that I covered in this lecture. So again I would say you study bit in bits and pieces, but whatever you are studying, that has to be perfect, because if your foundation is strong, so you can learn any number of things later on, any advanced stage you can go. But first of all, always try to learn the basics. Basics is very important to build, to have a good hand on or to be adept in HTML or any development that you will learn later on, right? Till then, bye bye, thank you, see you in the next video very soon. विकल्प बहुत मिलेंगे मार्ग भटकाने के लिए, लेकिन एक संकल्प ही काफ़ी है मंजिल तक जाने के लिए. With this beautiful saying in the Sunday lovely morning, I welcome you all to this beautiful lecture where we set an objective of learning HTML together and becoming a front-end web developer. So let's start from where we left in the last lecture. Now we will be starting HTML text formatting. Friends, there are various HTML elements that are being used for defining the text, and it conveys special meanings like the HTML tag. This element is used for bold text. If you have to format the text into bold, you can use this VHTML element. The strong is also used to bold the text, but it will also give them important to the text. If you want to add some extra importance, you can use this strong element while writing any paragraph or any content in the HTML. In I stand for italics. If you want to display text in an alternate voice or mood or in italics, you can use this I element. I element you can see here in italics. The text would be displayed in the italics form, like here you can see. So that can be done with the help of I tag. Similarly, EM means emphasize. When you have to emphasize the text, you can use this EM tag. It will also turn the text into italic, right? So are you getting my point? Here you can see if we are using the EM tag, the text will be emphasized. Then the small element. This small element is basically reducing the font size of the text. Whatever the default text size of the paragraph is there, it will show the text in the smaller than the original text, right? So if you will see here as an example, when we are using the small tag, this is smaller text, it is being displayed as in a reduced font size. So you can use always the small tag when you want that the text should be displayed in a smaller comparison to the whole paragraph. Then there is HTML mark element. Mark will actually, what it will do, it will highlight the text within that tag. So in this case, the milk that is there, it will be highlighted. Are you getting my point? So when the milk would be in the mark tag, it would be highlighted with a color. You can see here the milk is highlighted. And del element will actually delete, like strike off. So in blue, it will strike off the blue, and red is there. So blue will be strike off because it is being used in the del tag. So like in notebooks also, when we want to cut something, so we use that line. So that line will be displayed across the red here. You can see in the example, like blue is being strike off. INS tag means insert tag. This insert tag will insert the text. It will show like something is deleted, and thus that thing that is inserted will be underlined. It will be always underlined when insert tag is being used. I hope you are getting my point, and I would just suggest you try to do these changes in the paragraph. Try to use this tag. Here you can see the red is being underlined. It is clearly showing that blue is deleted and the red is inserted. So whenever you want the user that the changes should be shown to it, so you can use these elements to show the user that these amendments are done. So there is HTML sub-element. Sub-element means subscript. So it will be shown below the normal line, like in formulas H2 and all. This 2 is subscript. So whenever you want to write this kind of text where it would be below the normal line, you can always use the sub. It is not that the only number can be written. Even the text can also be written with the sub element. So likewise, there is superscript. Superscript means it will be shown above the normal line, half a character above. So whatever the superscript is written here, you can just have a look at it. In this case, it will be shown above the normal line. You can see here the superscripted text will be shown at a half a character above the normal line. So these are the various types of text formatting elements. So you can just have a note of it, these tags along with the description. It would be useful for you whenever you will be going for any interview or anywhere. So it would be easier for you to refer the texts. Now, the next thing we are moving on HTML is quotation and citation elements. So there are various times whenever we make some blog or somewhere, there we want to refer some quote from a website, then we can always use this block quote. This block quote will show all the quote as a block. Like this whole text will be shown as a block with some spacing from the original paragraph, right? So you can write here block quote and cite is equal to this website address from where it is cited, from where it is extracted. So you can show it there, this block quote site, right? So here is a quote from WWF website, and this whole quote, block quote, it will be shown with the spacing from the original paragraph. You can see here, there is some spacing between the here and for. So this whole block and the original normal paragraph, there is spacing. So you can always use block quote whenever you are referring to some reference from any website or from any extract. Likewise, for short quotations, you can also use this Q tag. This Q tag will display it with the quotes. You can see the quotes we have not written, but the text would be in the quotes. So whenever you want to show the text, display the text in quote form, you can always use the Q tag. ABBR, this is abbreviations. Whenever you want to write abbreviations,
you can use this tag. It will make easier for the user to understand the abbreviation whenever the cursor will move on that short form or on that acronym. The full name, full uh, form of this will be shown like WHO. So whenever the user is moving the mouse over it, the World Health Organization is being shown here. So likewise, you can make it easier for the user to get the description of the abbreviation or acronym. Address tag. This address tag is used for displaying the contact information of the web page author or owner. So, but whenever you want to show your address, it can always be shown with the help of the address tag, and it is always in browser in italic form and with a line break from the original paragraph, right? So you can see here there is a line break, and all the address it is being shown in italic. You can see it is in italic form. So whenever you want to show your address, you can use it. HTML site is being used for some creative work like book or poem, or you have made any painting. So in newspaper also you have seen the site element that it will be in italic. So like you can see here, whenever a work like the scream, this image is being made by Edward Munch, and the title is The Scream. So the title of any work of your art, it will be always shown as a italic. So can be done by site tag. Now video means bidirectional override. What it will override the current text direction. Like currently whatever we are writing from left to right. But when you want that the display should be from right to left, so the direction would be changed and the text would be displayed from right to left. So this text, whenever we are using the video tag, you can see it is showing this T first, then F, then E, then L. This whole it will start displaying from here onwards. So this video can be done. Now this is exercise for you. You answer it in comments. Which of the following is not a quotation element? In fact, not an HTML element at all. इसमें से कौन सा है जो HTML element नहीं है? So this quote is not an HTML element. You have to answer in your comment section, and you have to practice these tests. Then only you will get a good hand on this. Now, there are many times we want that something may be written for the developer and it is not shown to the user, not displayed on the browser. So, if that is the case, we are using the comments. Almost in every programming language, there is some comment section. So, in this comment tag, whatever you are writing, you can add always comment by help of this angular bracket and exclamatory mark dash dash and your comments here dash dash closing angular bracket. So this exclamation point is the it will be in the start tag, but it is not the end tag, right? So comments are not displayed by the browser. They can help you document your HTML source code whenever you want that some next developer comes. Suppose you are working in a company and you have make a web page. So if you will define these comments that this is the that section of the web, this is the that content of the web. So whenever you are leaving job and some new developer or some new person is seeing your code, he will be able to make it clear that what this part of code is doing. So you can also place any notification or reminders in your HTML code with the help of this. Like here, this is a comment. Again, this line would not be shown. This line will be shown, and then this line will also not be shown. So whenever we want to comment something, whenever you want to write some piece of information in code that is not to be displayed in browser, we are using this comment section. So comment is basically used to hide the content. So if you want to hide content temporarily, therefore that also it can be useful. So everything that is between this angular bracket and exclamatory mark and dash dash and angular bracket, it will be hidden. It will not be shown in the browser. I hope you are getting my point. So comment are very useful for debugging HTML. So suppose you have written a page code of 2 3 pages, but you don't know where the error is. So in modules you can comment the uh, that code and try to run. So you can track the errors. So whenever you are searching for errors, we are debugging our code. We are using this comments. It is very useful. Hide inline content. So inside any tag, you can also hide some content you want to hide. You can easily hide it. So this great text, it will not be displayed in the browser here, right? I hope you are getting my point. Hide inline content, it comments can also be used for this purpose. Now it is a question for you. What is the correct syntax for adding a comment in HTML? You have to answer this question in the comment section. Next lecture, we would be studying about HTML colors, various codes, and various color names. Till then, bye bye. Take care.
Hi friends, how are you all? I hope you are doing great at your end. So in last lecture we discussed about HTML, our introduction part, a basic overview I gave you. So in this lecture we would be getting deeper inside the HTML. So I hope you enjoyed the last session. So let's start. As I already told you, in HTML, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is a standard language that is being followed nowadays for creating any web page. It is having elements, tags. So elements can have a heading, paragraph, or there can be any link. So what it is basically doing, whatever you are writing in the HTML as a code, your browser is actually is a application. It is interpreting it. It is interpreting your code and displaying the content accordingly. So if you have written something in the heading part, so it will be displayed on a web page as a heading, right? So I also have shown you the simple HTML document, the structure where we have written this code that you see on your screen, that code. Document type HTML, head, title, and then title, closing tag, head, body. So always remember, whatever you have you have written in the title, it would be shown as a tab. It is the name of the tab, right? So here the page title would be shown at the as the name of the tag, right? So H1 is the heading. I told you H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. These are actually the headings font sizes. So H1 is the gigantic font size. P stands for paragraph, where whenever you have to write a paragraph, some details about something, then that can be in the P tag, right? So whatever you are writing in the body element, whatever you are writing, that would be shown inside the browser, right? Are you getting my point? And document type HTML is basically a declaration of HTML5 document. So whenever you find this document type HTML being declared, it is for the HTML5 version. In the last lecture I had told you HTML1 version, 2 version, 3 version, 4 version, 5 version. So these currently we are using the HTML5 version, right? So HTML element, whatever the code you are writing in HTML, it has always to be in HTML tag, starting HTML tag with angular brackets and the closing mark with the forward slash and HTML, this closing angular bracket. Every code is to be written inside this. Whatever the HTML code you have to write inside it, right? That you have to ensure at your end. The title is displaying the title of the HTML page. P would be displaying the paragraph, again the same thing. So what is an HTML element? HTML element is just defined as a start tag, some content and end tag. So most of the HTML element you would find a tag name and a closing tag name. Like in P, there would be a closing P tag. In H1, there would be a closing H1 tag. Likewise, you can see here for heading, we are writing H1 tag and closing H1 tag. So this is the basic syntax to write a tag and HTML element. I hope you are getting what I am trying to convey to you. So this break element, it doesn't have any closing tag, right? So there would be in break, whenever you have to do the line break, so it is an empty element there, no element is content is there and no end tag is there. You have to just simply write break and the content would be in the next line. So I hope you got this. Let's move ahead. So what is the purpose of a browser? The browser is actually displaying whatever you have written in the HTML code, that would be displayed inside the browser, or like a content. Like in the last we have written my first heading, it is the H1 tag. So now try to recognize what we have written and how it is being displayed. My first paragraph that is written, it is inside the P tag, angular bracket P and closing bracket T, P. So whatever you have written in the P, it would be displayed as a paragraph, right? So that you need to understand. Whenever you look in the browser, you must try to correlate it with the what kind of HTML tag would have that been, right? So if you visualize that, you can very well get to know that here it is HTML head. Head is basically what is not displayed in the body, it is above it. So the title and the page title you see here, it is the head, that index.html. The index.html you are seeing, it is in the title tag, and then h1 is, this is a heading, p is paragraph and p another paragraph. So it doesn't matter how number of paragraphs you are writing, you always have to use the p tag, and then enclose body and HTML. Every code has to be in HTML. So whatever you are writing in that is to be displayed in the browser, it must be inside the HTML tag. The content inside the body section will be displayed in a browser. So in the browser, the whatever you are writing in the body tag, it would be displayed, right? So that you have to understand. I already told you about the history, like what are the when was the HTML 5 point or 5.1 is there. In the latest is 5.2, it is from 2017. So there are improvements in the technology, and likewise there are various releases. So in this tutorial we would be using the HTML5 standard, right? So there are some tags that are removed and some other facilities or other tags are added. So likewise this HTML versions, they are improved, right? So now let's move to the editors part. I have already told you what are the types of editors that you can use for writing the HTML code. So in writing the HTML code, it can be very easy. You can just, when you have that Windows PC, you can have that Notepad pre-installed. You can use it as Notepad, or TextEdit is there in Mac. So any editor, any normal editor you can use, and I think and I would recommend you try to learn HTML using the basic text editor, that is Notepad or TextEdit, because it would become easier for you to practice and learn and remember it, because as we know, practice makes someone perfect. So when you try to write it again and again, your perfection and your understanding and comprehension of this HTML, it will get improved, right? So it is normal, you all know how to open Notepad. You just go to your application search and type Notepad and open it. When you open a Notepad or a text edit, you just try to write it in a simple text. Just write this code in your HTML, this HTML code, try to write it in the Notepad. When you write in Notepad, it would be displayed as a text because it is a text editor, so it would be a text. You have to save this file with the .htm or .html whatsoever, but you can also write HTML or HTM, anything you can write. So if you are writing HTML, so it would be a web file. So when you right click and save it, rename and save it like this, as you can see in your screen, it can be HTML or HTM, right? Both, any file extension you can use, there is no difference. So basically most of the time we are using .html, right? So try to learn that. You see .html, save .html in your screen, and then when you right click and open it with browser, it would be displayed like this, right? The code that you have written, it would be displayed like this. My first heading is the h1 tag and my first paragraph is the p tag. This is index.htm, it is the title tag, right? So you need to understand it. So you try it yourself, try to write this and see whether you are able to do it or not, because it is very important. Until and unless you practice, it is not going to help you anything. So we must try to learn this. So let us move ahead with the HTML headings. You can find there are h1 to h6 tags. The variety of tags are there. H1 for headings you can use h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6. So these are according to the font sizes. H1 being the larger, being the gigantic font size, and h6 is the smallest heading size that you can use in the HTML. So you can try to write like this: h1, h6, h2, h3, h4, and try to see the difference. What is the difference? So whatever you have written in your notepad just now, and you try to amend your code, write to h1 instead of h1, try to write h6 and see the difference. What is the difference in the font size? You can see there. In the paragraphs I have told you that p tag is used. So whenever you are trying to link any document or any page, you can do that by using the a tag. So links can be done by the a tag. In a, href means reference. So you have to write the website name where you want to link on that page. So this is a link. When you will click this is a link, it will redirect you to that web page. So href attribute is to be used with the a tag when you have to link any HTML page. So likewise images can be linked with the image tag. So you have to use image, and it does not have any closing tag. In image, the whole syntax is written inside itself. It doesn't have that closing tag, that is angular bracket and forward slash img. It doesn't have. So whatever you have to write in the image tag itself. Like src means source. So the source of that image, it is that w3schools.jpg. It is the source of that image. alt means alternate text. If suppose that image is not there, so what text can be displayed to the user? So that is the alt tab. And width and height is accordingly you can set of the image. So if you want to increase or decrease the height, you can do it accordingly, right? So how to view the HTML source? Just you can Control plus U, or you can right click on any page and view page source. When you view the page source, you can find the code on which this page is written. and you can also inspect an HTML element. So that can be done with the right click on any element and inspect. When you inspect, you can see both HTML and CSS. So HTML and CSS both will be shown. HTML will be shown in the elements and styles panel, right? So that's it for today. In the next lecture, we will move ahead with elements and attributes, and further we would get deeper into this HTML element. Till then, bye bye, take care. Hi everyone, I'm so delighted to see you all here and extend my warm wishes for your great learnings ahead. Today, we will embark on the journey towards our goal of being a front-end developer that we together set it. So, are you ready for it? Let's start. In today's lecture, we will see about HTML. As we all know, in the books, in the traditional books, we have a pages, and you have to refer each page individually for any information. If you have to get any information, you have to refer to each page individually. But in a hyperlink document pages, hyperlink means the content of one page is linked to other page in a book. So in that way, these pages are linked nowadays, so it makes our reference easier. We can refer to any page at any point of time. In the markup language and the web, we will be seeing the SGML. SGML is the standard generalized markup language. It is a system or set of markup languages that is being used in 1980s, and in that the elements were tagged. A portion of the page is tagged with another portion on another page. So this type of tagging and organizing of the data was done in a document. So what we see today, HTML and XML and all, these are just an extension or just a development of from SGML. So any markup language that is defined in SGML, we call it an SGML application, like HTML application, XML application. So these are very descriptive. They are not procedural markup. And the documents, they are type concept. In that you can also define your own tags. You can also make your own tags, and they are not, they are, although they are standard, but they are not registered. So you can also customize according to your needs in the case of SGML. This hypertext markup language HTML that we are going to see in this lecture and thereafter also, it is the latest form that has been derived from the SGML. It is based on SGML and it is easier to learn and support. Nowadays, the text can be marked up with the help of SGML. There are headings, title bars, bullets and all. So you can also position your images, videos, tables with the help of HTML. The HTML basically is doing the display aspect of the page, how the page is to be displayed to the user. That is done by HTML. And the XML, extensible markup language, it is actually the data tracking capability. It is showing the content of the data. It is not much concerned about the display, how the data is to be displayed. Rather, it is focusing on the content, what content is to be displayed. That is a part of XML. Likewise, you can see here, XML was designed to describe the data. The data is described and it is basically focusing on the content of the data, what data is present in that document. So that data, its content is described with the help of XML. And in HTML, the display, how the data is to be displayed to the user. It is basically on looks, on appearance, that we are using HTML. Hypertext markup language, this is a language for specifying the content of the web pages. So various web pages, they are hypertext, they are interlinked, and that can also contain various multimedia, not only text, that can have images, videos. So from one page to another page you can easily jump in, you can refer, so it makes our life easier. Suppose you are reading something on one page and you want to jump to other page, you want to refer to some other information on some other page, so you can easily do it just by clicking on that link. So markup is just augmenting the capabilities of the text with the help of tags, and the tags identifies its structure and the content type. So HTML is the current technology, it is an evolving standard. So how it evolved across the history, we will see. HTML1, it was very basic and there was very limited integration of the multimedia, that is images and videos. There were very limitations and it was very basic. It was by Berners-Lee in 1989. Then the next version came up, HTML 2.0, and it was with IETF. IETF stand for Internet Engineering Task Force. In 1994, it gives and it tried to standardize these features. IETF is the agency that works on standardizing the protocols of TCP and IP. So IP and TCP protocols are standardized by IETF. Thereon, when we moved forward, HTML 3.2 came into light, and in the W3C consortium, World Wide Web Consortium in 1996, and it attempted to into a single standard. It tried to standardize the HTML, but it did not address the newer technologies like Java or streaming video. So streaming video feature was not available at that time, and the current thereafter 1997 HTML 4.0, it attempts to map out the future direction for HTML, not just react to vendors. So thereon improvement came up and now we are using HTML 5.0. So in hyperlink structure, the various pages, various contents, they are linked. So the linking can be the linear structure. In linear structure, a part of the document is linked to another part, like header is linked to header and header and header. Footer is linked to footer. The bottom of the page is linked to the bottom of the page. It is a linear structure of hyperlinking. In the hierarchical structure, any portion of the document can be linked to other in a tree-like structure. This is a tree-like structure. You can see there is a top level, mid level and bottom level. So this type of interlinking of documents, interlinking of information is hyperlink structure. Programming in HTML. So how we are doing the programming in HTML, how we are making our HTML web pages, that a basic structure of a web page is defined by it. A basic layout, the content of the web page, what you are displaying to the user in the browser, that is by means of a language that is HTML. So whatever you see in a browser, whenever you open your browser, by browser I mean Firefox, Chrome or Safari, whatever you are displaying in the web browser, it is by means of these HTML components, that is tags and elements. HTML text formatting is there, HTML links, frames, tables, lists, forms, images or background. We will see one by one in the next videos about it in detail. But for now, you can just remember that these are the various components of HTML that we have to master in. Now there is the advanced features, HTML layout, fonts, styles, head, meta, URL, scripts, web server. So these are the advanced features that came up to light after this HTML 4.0 or 5.0. So these came up into light. HTML tags and elements. So these are tags. You can see there is an angle bracket, opening angle bracket, HTML and closing angle bracket. Body H1 to S6, H1, H2, S3, H4, H5, S6. So these are according to the various font sizes. H1 being the largest, gigantic size, and S6 is the smallest size of heading. P means paragraph. When you are going to write a paragraph in HTML, you will be defining with the P tag. BR stand for break. Whenever you want to break a line, you will be using break. HR and exclamatory so on. So these are various tags that we would be seeing. So programming, how we can do the programming in HTML. So for programming in HTML, we need two HTML tools. The first one being our text editor, normal text editor, that may be your Notepad or Notepad++ or any text editor. So in that you have to write the code, you have to program in HTML, you write all syntax, and thereafter the other tool that is being used is the browser, Firefox, Chrome or anything that is capable of displaying that HTML page. So that we will see in the practical. So this is the thing that I wanted to tell you all. So in this you can see, after making an editor, text file editor, we have to save it with the extension HTML. So if suppose you are making a file index, so the format of the file must be index.html. So if you will save it like that, so the browser will interpret it and display to the user. So I don't have that Notepad, but initially I would recommend you go with the Notepad or any text editor, so that your comprehension and your practice, it becomes more exhaustive, more accurate. Otherwise, if you will see the advanced editors like VS Code, Visual Studio Code, it would be easier for you, but your practice would not be of that level because it auto completes many of the tags. So for practice, initially I would recommend you go with the Notepad. So in it would be easier for you to understand, to make a habit of how the tags are used. So this is a simple file that I would be showing you here. You can just open a text editor or Notepad on your window, and there you write this document type HTML. This is the opening tag, and HTML. HTML is a meta element. It is just everything that you are writing in the web page, it is being enclosed in the HTML tag. This is the HTML opening tag, and the other one is HTML closing tag. You can see this is a closing tag. The tag is closed always with a angular bracket and forward slash followed by the element name and closing angular bracket. So this is the root of an HTML document. Everything you would be writing inside, whatever you write, it will browse to display to user. So here is of HTML code. You can see in HTML. So this has not the meta of that HTML element. In that you would see various things like title, name. Whenever you will be linking any file, you would be using this head. Thereon is the head title are writing that of the page. Whatever you are seeing on the tab, so like this, when you are opening a browser, you would see over there. So it is that HTML page and opening tag. Whatever you are going to display to the user on the web browser, on the page, that is coming on the body. Like here using h1, I first closing h1 tag. So every more tags, maximum tags, they are tag and closing tag. Like paragraph, this is one paragraph using p tag. Therein and bracket p using angular bracket paragraph, opening angular bracket slash and after closing angular bracket. So this is going to be the basic syntax of an HTML document. Now this file, note, you have to save it HTML dot, always save it as HTML file dot HTML. So when you save it, would look something like hello.html. So when hello.html will open on the web page, it would be like this. That we have written in the bar, it will be shown at the top or tab title. Title bar displayed here in the browser, and this is our first heading, my first paragraph. This is the first written, and H1 we have written would be shown. See the fonts how there is. My first heading is H1 tag. Whatever we written H1 tag, it will be displayed. That is the key tag, paragraph tag, my paragraph. To see the fonts in H1, the font will be gigantic. So this is a normal HTML file that I shown. In the further lectures, would be knowing more about other HTML tags, and we will be getting deeper into HTML. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Bye. You don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and by following over. I welcome you all with these beautiful lines from Richard Branson, and I hope you enjoyed the last lecture and practiced a lot and are ready for the next lecture in a stable series of web development. Friends, in today's lecture we will see about HTML headings. I told you in the last lecture also that there are 6 categories in which you can display the headings in a web page by means of H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 tags. So these are tags that have various sizes. H1 is the biggest of all. So if you have to define a heading that is of a considerable large size, you would be using the H1 tag, and S6 being the smallest of them. So now we will see how it is. So it is like this. When you will write this code in your notepad and you will save it as a .html, so you will see the result. Here H1 tag is heading and it is heading number 1, right? So are you getting it? In this H1, you will find the size of this is large comparatively to S6, H5, S2. These are of varying sizes. So if you have to use the heading in your HTML content, so likewise you have to define the headings. The browser automatically adds a white space before and after a heading. So you also need to remember it is a very small thing, but if you are groomed as a good developer, you will remember always that whenever we are using the H1 or H2 or S3 any heading tags, so another line will be added by its own by the browser. It automatically adds a line. So it's not like that heading 1 will just stop there and thereafter itself the heading 2 will start. It will always start in the next line, right? Headings are important. Why it is important? Because whatever you are trying to display in your web page, there would be a heading, there will be paragraph, images and all, anything can be there, but headings will show you what is the document structure, right? What is it about? So H1 means it will be used for main headings, and if the lesser important heading is required, then you can use H2, H3, H4 likewise. So HTML headings are used only for headings, and it should not be used for making a text big or bold. Suppose you want to try something, some text to make it big or bold, so you will not use h1 or heading tags until and unless it is a kind of headings, because whatever is meant in HTML we have to use it for that purpose only. Although if you will use, it will work, but being a good developer, always make it a practice that what it is meant for, that only you have to use it. Bigger headings, if you want to use bigger headings, you can use the style attribute. For the style attributes, we would be studying about style attributes in next sections. So here you will write this style equal to font size is 60 pixels. So this attribute would be used by you rather than using that h1, h2, h3. This style attribute, if you will apply, so it will make your headings in bigger fonts, right? Are you getting my point? I hope you are getting it. Now we will see about the next thing. Now we will learn about HTML paragraphs. So in a content, whatever we are writing in a page, there is heading and there is also paragraphs. So a paragraph will always start on a new line. It is not like if you are using heading and in the same code, in the same line you are writing the paragraph, so it will not start with the heading. The paragraph will always start on a new line and is a block of text. It is simply a block of text. The paragraph browser will automatically add some white space before and after end of a paragraph, like in headings. So that will be done by the browser itself. Like in this, this is a paragraph, this is a paragraph, this is a paragraph. Now if you are writing the code like this, you can see a white space, a line is being added here, and if you try to remove it, right, you remove this p tag, then you will find that this line would be removed by itself. Now you can see the paragraph, this has been a complete paragraph. This from here to here, it is a complete paragraph now, right? This is a complete paragraph. Now you can see it. Now we will see display, like HTML display. Whatever you are writing in paragraph or heading, the HTML is not capable of displaying according to the display sizes. Like suppose you are using small screen, mobile screen, or you are using a big TV or big displays. So resized windows will create different results. So HTML cannot change the display on its own. For that we will see in the later videos about Bootstrap, where the responsive design would be there. So the browser will automatically remove extra spaces and lines when the page is displayed. So you can see here this paragraph is written. So it will not be like in the, like here in the code you see that this paragraph contains a lot of lines in the source code. These everything is written in another line in coding, but whenever it will be displayed, it will be displayed as a single paragraph, right? There will not be any extra line here. Let us see it here. See the whole thing from here to there, it will be shown as a complete this thing here. You can see this whole sentence, whole paragraph is a one part. It is the lines which we have added in the coding. In the next line we have written, it is not coming in the next line. So all paragraph will be shown as a single paragraph. It will not be in the next lines. So this thing you have to remember. It is not necessary in coding, if you are writing the code in the next line, so the text will also be displayed like this, right? So whenever you are using the p tag, the p tag will be displaying it all text as a paragraph, irrespective of in which line you have written. So browser will remove this extra line. So if you want to break some content in a page, suppose there is some break or some section is required, then for that horizontal rule tag is used, HR tag. This HR tag will be separating the content in a HTML page. Like in this you can see here we are using this HR tag. So what this HR tag is doing, it is drawing a line here. You can see this line, this horizontal rule line is there. So it is dividing the contents into various sections, so that this can be used when you are trying to display the page in separate contents or different sections. So this horizontal rules tag can be used, and it does not have any content or end tag. It is only an starting tag. Likewise, break line also we have discussed earlier. Whenever you want to break into a new line without starting a new paragraph, so you will be using the BR tag. Here you can see if we write p paragraph tag and we will not use break, so it will not break into a next new line. But here we are using the break tag, so after the break tag a new line will be coming in the results. You can see a paragraph is being displayed in the next line with line breaks. I hope you are understanding what I am trying to convey here. So now the problem comes. Suppose you are writing a poem. So when you are writing a poem, we know these poems are in stanzas. It is very short lines, and it is usually in the short sentences in the next line. So if we are going to use the p tag in this, it will be displaying all as a paragraph. You can see here, if we will write a poem, it will make no sense. It will be showing as a paragraph. So when we have to write poems, or very frequently we have to make short sentences and we have to use new lines, so the solution would be using the pre-element. Pre-element means pre-formatted text. So if you are using this pre tag instead of paragraph tag, so whatever the text and the style you are writing in the code, the same will be displayed in the results. Fixed, it will be having fixed width font, and usually the language, the font style would be Courier. So it preserves both the line breaks and spaces. Whatever the space or the line break you are providing in the coding, the same will be displayed in the browser result. The browser with itself automatically, it will not change the styling, because it will take it as a pre-formatted text that you have already formatted the text, right? Now we will discuss about HTML style attribute. I told you about attribute. So what is attribute? Attribute is actually whenever we are trying to add some additional information to any tag or to any HTML element, we are using an attribute. So style is an attribute. I also discussed it in the previous classes, that style, whenever you are trying to add some appearance, change in appearance or font size or more, so that can be done by style attribute. Like here you can see the text is red, text is blue, or the text is big. This can be done with the style attribute. So how we can use it, the style attribute? So it can be easily done. You have to just add this line, p is equal to style is equal to color, and then define color red. So it will display the paragraph as a in red color, right? If you want to increase the font size, so style is equal to font size colon 50 and closing braces, closing quotes. So if you will write like this, so it will show I am big, this font size. So any change in the font or font size or any kind of styling you want to change in HTML, that can be done with the help of style attribute, and style attribute can be used with the starting tag, the tag name whatsoever, h1 tag or p tag or any tag, and followed by style is equal to that property. Property means CSS property, like it is font or it is uh, color or any property that is, and it is its value, right? So if the property is color and here the value is black or blue, so the text will be displayed as black or blue. CSS we will be studying after this HTML, so it will make you more clear. It is a kind of also known as inline styling. So whenever we are trying to do inline styling, we are doing like this. It is not a very good qualities of a developer to use inline styling. We should avoid it, but whenever it is required, we can always use this. Background color, if you want to change the background color of any page, of any body, so that can be done with the help of style is equal to background color is the property. This is the CSS property, and powder blue is the value of that CSS property. So if you see, you can see the color of that page. The page color is powder blue. So likewise, you can change the color. Suppose you write background color is equal to red. So it will turn the whole page into red, right? So these types of changes you can do, you can practice at your end, and it will make you more adept, more skilled. It will, with practice, your hands-on in this HTML, it will increase. So try to make whatever we are doing here, try to make changes in the pages and see the results. Like here, the paragraph style background color is tomato. So it will, the paragraph will be shown of tomato color. You can see this is a paragraph, it is tomato color. So whenever you are using the style to any tag, HTML tag, it will change the appearance of that tag. That may be the font size, that may be the background color, whatever is there, it will be changing it, right? You can also change the text color. For text color, you simply write the color is equal to color colon blue. So it will change the color of this heading. So this syntax you have to remember, because this syntax is to be added on the start tag, and then the styling can be done. The font family can be also be changed, Verdana or Courier. So you can see the results. In the font family, you can do Arial or Calibri, any font family you can use. Like Verdana is used, so it will be shown like this, and Courier, this will be shown like this. So in the font family, you can also describe it. CSS text size, you can increase the text size, font size, like 300%. So whatever the font size is of H1 is there, it will be increased by 300%, right? So you can see the result. This is a heading. See the result. The paragraph font size is also increased because we have increased it by 160% with the percent, or you can also write pixel. So likewise, it will change the font size. Text alignment can also be done, whether you want to align it to center or left or right or justify whatsoever, you can easily do by the means of styling. So these are some style attributes, although there are a lot of style attributes, but what we have studied in this video, it is background color for changing the background color. If you want to change the text color, use the color tag, this CSS property. If you want to change the text font family, then font size or the text alignment. So these are very important things. Now in comments, you do this exercise. What is the correct way to add a background color to an HTML document? Now this exercise result you type in your comments. Don't try to copy it, you just type it. what would be the correct syntax for changing the background color of an HTML document. These are the three options. Write the correct options in the comment section. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I hope whatever we have studied, heading, paragraph, and this style attribute, how to use it, I hope you enjoyed it. You learned a lot. And one thing I want to make it clear, because that basics or the foundation is very necessary for development, because these questions, these minute differences will be always asked in your interviews. So for that sake also, you must be having the clarity of what is the HTML rules, how we are using the tags, and what are these minor differences. In the next video, I will see you with the next HTML tag, and we will see the HTML text formatting and other further. Till then, bye bye, take care.
मेहनत रंग लाएगी, किस्मत बदल जाएगी। खुद पर भरोसा रखो, सफलता हर हाल में मिल जाएगी। Hi everyone, I welcome you all to this video, and today's our topic is very relevant to colors. Today would be studying about HTML colors, how we can display various colors on our HTML web pages. So there are various ways you can also use the predefined color names or that RGB hex or HSL or RGB HSLA values. What are these? These are various codes or values that you can write within your HTML element in the styling part, and you can directly apply the color to various web parts. Like there are 140 standard color names. So these color names directly you can write in your HTML styling. Here you can see, like in this case, heading H1 is being given the color style is equal to background color Dodger blue. So Dodger blue is a type of color, this one, that is already defined in the HTML. So if you will simply write Dodger blue, the browser will understand and it will display the heading